Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. It's good to see you again. I'm Ryan, DP Marketing.Services, and author on the book on digital marketing for plumbing and HVAC shops. So thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Today's video is kind of fun. Was having a conversation with a contractor who's in the same state we are. And one of the things that she said was important for her was thinking about out-of-the-box marketing ideas. And how to stand out from the competition. They're in a pretty competitive market. And I thought it was just a fun idea, fun conversation. And I thought it was worth doing one of these little videos. So today's topic, out of the box marketing ideas. Let's lay some groundwork, right? The idea of an out of the box marketing idea is that you're trying to stand out from the crowd. You're trying to get attention in a different way. You're trying to get noticed in a different way. You're not trying to do what everyone else is doing. So practically speaking, if everyone in your town is doing billboards, this means not doing a billboard, right? And if anyone in your town is doing like Facebook ads, this means not doing Facebook ads. This is about finding ways to differentiate yourself from the competition. By the way, bonus points if you can find a way to do it that's relatively low cost. So, right, you with me right now? This is about doing things that are different. So if everyone in your town is doing a cartoon superhero rap on their vans, cool, let them. This is not doing those things that everyone else is doing. So there's a couple ideas that I can drop, but really the idea is to help you and encourage you to think creatively, to put together ideas that maybe don't seem obvious at first. And in your company, in your market, it's going to be different. So it's not like, hey, here's an out of the box idea, take it and run. Because if everyone's watching this video, it does the same thing, then obviously it doesn't work anymore. So here's a couple of examples, right? We have a guy we work with outside of Atlanta, and for years, he's went and bought like hundreds of those like clicky top pins, puts his logo, his phone number, website, all that stuff on the clicky top pins, and then takes them to local restaurants and just drops off hundreds and hundreds of his pins to the waitstaff of these restaurants. And what he's found is that it's really effective because here's what happens. So think about someone waiting tables or serving food at a restaurant. They're always like filling out stuff and they're always losing pins because their tables like run off with the pins. So on one hand, you have the wait staff who's like, oh, sweet, I'm so glad to have more pins. And they kind of stack these pins away and whatever so that they always have a plenty of supply of pins to write their food orders on. But then the customers are still going to take the pins. The customers like fill out the check, they sign it. You probably do this all the time, right? You're like, hey, free pin, stick it in your shirt and go home. This guy probably gets 20 calls a month based on people having their pins just sitting in drawers of their house. Like they're just like opening up drawers. They see this pin every time they open up their drawer. And it's like they always see that company name. And so when something goes wrong, they pull out the pin and that's the one they call. And 20 calls a month just from pins dropped off at restaurants. So that's a weird idea that doesn't seem super obvious, right? Because it's not AdWords, it's not Facebook, it's not a website. It's just a clicky top pin, not the spinny. No one likes the spinny. It's clicky tops. So that's an interesting one. There's another one where there's a contractor we heard of. I think they're HVAC, doesn't matter. But they essentially adopted the restrooms at the town's sporting facility, right? So like where the local sports team would play all their games, the bathrooms just looked awful. They were, just what you think of if you go to any sort of stadium or arena, they're just really bland bathrooms. So this company wrote up a proposal to adopt the bathrooms and they repainted them with their company colors. They put their mission statement and values like on the walls of these restrooms so that during concerts, during sporting events, people would go to these restrooms to relieve themselves and they would just be flashed with all this imagery about this company. So the stadium liked it because they got the upkeep, they got, a nice looking restroom. It was branded with someone's colors, no big deal, but they got the check for it. But the company got these kind of like unusual sort of exposure and top of mind impression for people who were not expecting to be marketed to in that way at that facility. So it helped them cut through the noise of everything else in the market. So there's all kinds of ideas, right? We've had people do like raise money for local schools or raise school supplies for local schools so that you can get on local news. We've had companies like donate money to teachers and highlight a teacher a month in a way to kind of give them a check and they get on the news that way. But it's a way to like think differently about getting your business in front of people in a way they're not expecting. Sometimes it's low cost, sometimes it's no cost. But what is your market doing? What makes your company unique? And what can you do to help leverage that to get in front of people in a unique way? Have fun with this idea. I would love to see some of the ideas you think of. But there's a whole lot of ways you can do to think outside of the box. But if you're just kind of surrounding yourself with all the same ideas, it's going to be really hard. So like, give yourself permission, dream a little, come up with a ton of crazy ideas. They're all going to suck at first. That's okay. But help give yourself permission to think through what these ideas could look like to take your business to the next level. Because who knows, you might have the next clicky top pin idea and you might just find yourself with 20 extra leads a month you weren't counting on. So I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, please, on ideas you've experimented with, how they work, things you're coming up with now. I'd love to see your brainstorming. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you're doing well, staying safe, and we'll see you next time.